Hi everyone, welcome to Sacred Journey with Varin Gill. I am Varin Gill. I was once a corporate body and today I am in the wellness space. That is what this video is about. I wanted to share with you about 3 things that I feel anyone who wants to move from the corporate world to the wellness world needs to think about. It has not exactly been a smooth ride. It has been a very powerful experience. I am so grateful that I did this for myself. However, the challenges are going to be there. So if you like what you're about to hear, or if you've heard any of my earlier content, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe below. It will really help me reach more people like you who are going through major changes in their life. It's major change in our life, right, that makes us want to shift away from a corporate job to the wellness space. And if you're like me, right, I'm not saying the corporate space is a difficult space, but I believe that someone like me who believes in vulnerability, who believes in creating sacred experiences for others, definitely had a very tough time in the corporate world as it was 20 years ago. But today, 2025, the corporate world is a different place. Of course, you still have severe goals and targets, and I don't think long working hours has gone anywhere. But you know yourself. You know at some level that there is a calling for something different, and that is genuine, and that is not going to go anywhere. So the best thing to do is listen. Just listen to that calling and do the best you can to either answer it or not. Now, 3 things that I think you need to consider from my personal experience, bumpy experience in this space. So the first thing that you need to consider is the money. If you've been in the corporate space and you've become reliant on having a monthly salary, you're going to have to rethink that. It's wonderful to have a monthly salary, but it's also wonderful to know exactly what your future expenditure is going to be on an annual basis. So you really need to know yourself, what makes you happy, what your values are, and how much you know you're going to be spending. And build an income stream aligned to that plus for your savings, right? If you know at any level, you know you want to travel, you know you want to buy expensive things, you know you want to rent a decent space or own a house, or you want to invest for the future, you need to go on proper financial business courses that teach you how to value yourself. These days, you don't even have to go on a course. There's all kinds of online mentors that teach you financial awareness. Do that. Really know your financial value system. This is really, really vital, right? I'm going to come to the spiritual stuff shortly, but I'm going to put this out there because my background was finance, and it has been a huge help in terms of me making that transition. And today, you do not need to be a qualified CPA like me to make that transition. Today, there's so much information out there about building wealth. So you move away from the concept of earning a salary to building wealth. And to build wealth, one needs to create value. Now, this is a total mindset shift from being a salaried employee. Unless you were a CEO or you're at a level where you were aware about building value in the company you worked at, and moving from that salaried mindset where something secure is going to come in every month to maybe not getting anything in a certain month. Instead, when you're in this space, you work towards creating value, and as much value that you can from every offering that you make. And you will get better and better at that. There will be mistakes, because just think about it. How long did it take you to learn to become good at the job that you're currently doing? It will take as long, probably probably longer, because it's a very, very new mindset. So I'm not going to lie, you're going to have to relearn a lot about how financials work. But it's a very powerful relearning. And the moment you understand how to build value and your wellness spiritual self begins to align with that, there's no going back. It really shifts your mindset. It shifts your energetic self. And you will grow alongside that new value system. All right. So the second thing is knowing why. Knowing your why. I've put that second. I've put the financial stuff first because I already want you to go out there and learn about real finance. Okay? There's no running away from it. There's a lot of people out there in wellness who are originally celebrities or influencers, and they are not going to be like you and me, right? There's so many in Malaysia who are already, wellness, they're celebrities. They're wellness celebrities, they're wellness influencers. And you and me are not that person. We are corporate people with a corporate face, a corporate mindset that are moving into the space of wellness. So they already have an understanding of how talent works. Me and you needed to learn that, okay? So the second thing is knowing your why. These guys have a why. Their why is that they are it. They walk and talk and be vulnerable, and that already makes them money. That is going to be your why to a certain extent, but you need to go one level deeper, because you're making a huge shift from the way you learned how to live to something completely different. Now, mind you, everything you learned is not going to die. It will live with you forever. The stories, the experiences are all gifts that you will give to others on this journey. My finance background, my finance years, all my colleagues, they have been amazing experiences, amazing people that have supported me through this journey. So don't worry about, having to not think about what happened in the past with your job, or having to never experience that again. If you were a marketer, you'd probably be able to do this work even better, right? Because you know how to put yourself out there. Your why, it needs to be so concrete that it will remind you every day why you're doing what you're doing. And when that why is so concrete, you go out there and find someone that can sit with you and find your why. It's got to be so concrete. Is it really about helping other people? Or is it really about being your authentic self? That why is what is going to carry you through. It's going to carry you through on those times where you may not be feeling financially all right, where you might be feeling like you've made the wrong decision. Your why is going to carry you through, and it is a long game. Why would someone from the corporate world step into the wellness world? If you're going to apply the same corporate mindset to wellness, that means your why was maybe a little financial, not clear, escapist, because you're still the same person. But if your why becomes about building a life that you never have to take a vacation from, where you become truly yourself, right? That's why you got to know yourself so well. Or anything that is so remarkably authentic about you, that desire to be that is just beyond doubt, you might have found your why. You got to do the work to find that why. Okay, and the third reason is that there is a huge shift happening in the world energetically, where it's time for us to stop doing a lot of mundane work. It's time for us to stop being bored and step into our creative selves. Everyone is creative. Making money, being on the stock market, doing finance, doing marketing, all of this is really, really powerful stuff. But what may not be aligned to you as a creative individual are the targets, are the systems, the processes, the politics, the strange toxic environment where you may not be allowed to really show who you are and you're wearing a mask at work. That time for the masks is running out. The world is changing to become this creative space. It's wanting us to step out of that mask, all the cloaks, all the trauma that we've been wearing, and step into who you really are. And today, it's not as crazy as when I was doing it, where there were very little part-time opportunities to step into wellness. I was very lucky. I took a sabbatical and I tried it, and it worked out for me to be able to live a life that I don't need to take a vacation from, literally. But you've got to step into your creator self. You've got to love that creator side of you, okay? And a very important part of the creator side of you is that you're going to have to constantly learn and shift and upgrade yourself on your own. I continuously do various courses. I meet with various teachers. I invest in myself heavily to keep myself relevant. Forget about people that I work with, for myself, because I want to stay interested in the development of this soul, this creator, this amazing individual that needs nourishing, that needs love, that needs new knowledge, that needs constant growth. And I do that with all the courses that I do and the people I surround myself with. It becomes a temple. You become the temple that you put out there for others. You just imagine a temple. How much nourishment does it need to maintain as a temple? That is what you're going to have to do for yourself. I do not want to downplay it, but it is serious business. Your life will shift. So, do it. It is marvelous. You will learn so much. It is that tarot fool's card journey. I won't deny it, because the wellness space is still very, very young. I mean, when I started doing my finance career, we're talking 25 years ago when I started doing finance, right? The wellness industry is maybe 12 years old. Today, 2025, it's what, 12 years old as a serious industry. So there's so much yet to develop. I don't like to call it industry because for me, I'm in it for the growth of my soul. The growth of my soul is so much bigger than the word industry. It is an energy, it is a vibration. And with that, I finish my 3 things that you need to be aware of. 2025 is a year that's going to force us to shift. It's going to force us to rethink our bottom lines. If you're getting made redundant, if you're having a massive breakup, if you're going through something that's forcing you out of your comfort zone, you haven't been the most creative self that you have been ever before. It's now asking you, become that. And it's not going to be easy, but you can do it. You've got it in you. Learn, connect with the ancestors before this time, before the last 2 or 3 generations who have lived in scarcity, getting a salary and living in that way. Connect with your ancestors that used to live in the moment, that used to live from the land, that used to feed themselves just by growing something. You completely move the system out of the way and build your own system by aligning yourself with who you really are in nature. I hope that was helpful. If you like what you heard, please remember to like, subscribe, and comment. You can find me on Instagram. I do various women's circles. I do various workshops. I do lots of things online and offline. My WhatsApp group tribe link is below. I hope to see you there. Thank you so much. Bye for now.